and I was wondering what was stopping the traffic. Well, it was a policeman. And I got to the end and I looked up north. There were no obstructions. There was no reason to keep those cars there.
Are you serious?
I'm serious as a heart attack.
Welcome, brothers and sisters. I wasn't planning on doing another video on this, but a lot of new information has come up, quite a bit actually. So what has come up is that in Hawaii, during the fires, police actually blocked the exits for people to be able to drive out and get out of the way of the fires in their cars. And there's testimony to this. So that's why we saw all those cars sitting there all backed up, and so many people died in their cars. And they didn't know why. They didn't know why traffic wasn't moving, why people weren't going out, why they were having to sit there. And now we have testimony that police actually blocked the road. And whenever people went up and were like, "What are you doing?" They actually were just like, "I don't know. I'm just was told to come block the street, so I'm just doing my job." This isn't the first time we've heard police saying, "Well, I'm just doing my job." You remember Canada, we heard that as well. In fact, we've gotten where we're hearing this a lot. Plus, there's some more stuff that's come up. A book that was written, published, and put out for sale a day or two before the fires even started, on the fires in Hawaii. It's a little unbelievable to you. People like Oprah and Zuckerberg buying up all the land in Hawaii. I've got a lot of information for you. But okay, first let me show you this entire video, and then I'll come back. Stay with me, because there's a whole bunch in this video with multiple testimonies and video I want to show you, and you don't want to miss any of it, because it's a lot.
To Front Street, and there were all the cars were lined up, but none of them were moving. And I walked all the way from Safeway to the Chart House. Not one car had moved. And I was wondering what was stopping the traffic. Well, it was a policeman. And I got to the end and I looked up north. There were no obstructions. There was no reason to keep those cars there.
Are you serious?
I'm serious as a heart attack. And I said, "What are you doing?" He goes, "Well, I'm under orders to keep them here." And I said, "The fire is right around Safeway. It's going to hit Front Street. These people got to get out of here." And he said, "I'm following orders."
No way.
And so I just kept walking. And well, maybe he knows something I don't, So, and I keep walking down the highway, and I look behind. No cars are coming out. I walked all the way to Waikuli Beach. Still no cars coming out. And I started hearing boom, boom, boom. And then I heard people screaming and stuff.
You're saying they were blockaded in by the police at the end of Front Street?
Yeah.
Like where the restaurant is?
Right, where the Chart House
Where the Chart House was, I should
Right.
say. There was a blockade there, and they could not go any further.
Right. I walked.
What the hell?
I walked all the way from Safeway to there. Not one car had moved. And people walking in front of me, the people in the cars are saying, "Would you like a ride?" And they're going, "Oh, okay." And they'd get in. They asked me, I go, "No, you better get out of here." But they just, "Well, we were told to evacuate by car." Okay. So I just kept walking, and I got all the way to, like I said, the Civic Center, and then I started hearing all the explosions, and there was no one walking behind me or on bicycles or anything.
Okay, so you heard that, right? Cars backed up, people getting into cars because they were told to evacuate by car, so they didn't get out and walk, which is just crazy, right? It's crazy that people are just in this mindset of doing what they're told. They're told to evacuate by car, so they get into cars and sit there and die. The police are told to go block the streets. They just do their job and go block the streets. I don't understand how people have become such followers that they just do what they're told. I don't know. I guess it's from, growing up in school, being told to just, do what you're told. Always stay in line, don't ever think for yourself. But you would think that under these kind of conditions, people would just be trying to get out of there. But obviously they weren't. And did you hear he was talking about the boom, boom, boom noise and then people screaming, right? I might have a video that shows you what that boom, boom, boom may have been. Take a look at this video.
That's crazy!
Okay, so you saw that. The electrical lines going just crazy, throwing sparks everywhere, booming. That's not normal. Normally, the power lines, if one of them breaks or something, they cut off. It doesn't just travel up and down like that. That is really, really odd, okay? So if you saw in my last video where I talked about the direct energy weapons, right, and Starlink, of course, will have the capability to have direct energy shoot from each of the individual little satellites that travel kind of together in unison. If you didn't see that, take a look at that video, because it shows it, and it shows a picture of taken from the Hawaiian Observatory that took the picture, and the lines, the pattern looks just like Starlink. I swear I believe it is Starlink. So I do believe that they did use direct energy weapon as well. I think they covered their bases in a multitude of ways. Okay, so let me show you another video real quick that will show you what happens and how direct energy weapons work. And then I'm going to show you about the book that was published. And then I've got some testimony and some other things to show you. This is going to be a very interesting video. You don't want to miss any of it. Stay with me. I'll be right back after this video, okay?
Let's say on a small island in the Pacific.
Okay, so you could see from that video how precise that the direct energy weapon can be. You can imagine on a larger scale how much damage it could actually create, or just start pinpoint fires anywhere that they wanted to. And what we've started to kind of see is that these fires that are started with direct energy weapons tend to not burn down like trees and grass and stuff, but they destroy buildings and stuff and people. And the fires have burned extremely, extremely hot. Okay, so now let me show you the video I have of the book that went on sale, and people have been leaving horrible comments because people are catching on. How can somebody write and publish a book while these fires are going on. I mean, it was out and published and for sale on Amazon on the 10th, right? This was right in the middle of all of this going on. And another thing is, how do you have hurricane winds and no rain, no water at all? And the other thing is that I'm going to show you in a minute is the homes that were burnt, okay? None of the millionaires and billionaires' homes were burnt. Just the area of the people they wanted out. The general public, the riffraff, the peons, us, the people like you and me. They wanted their homes, and those people weren't willing to sell. They've been there for generations and generations, a lot of them, and they weren't going to sell, right? So now they have no home. They've still got their land, but the insurance, right? All this insurance goes into places like Vanguard. They're not going to cover their insurance. So now they have no money, no home, no way to rebuild. And of course, that's when people like Oprah is coming in and going, well, I'll give you money for your land, but you've got to sell it to me. Yeah, sure, she's going to donate sometime in the future. And I don't know if y'all have seen also, that's another thing. All the supplies and money and stuff people have been trying to donate and give, they've been trying to block that from getting in as well. And the money hasn't been going to the people. All right, I know I'm getting ahead of myself here. Let me go back, and there's a lot. So let me show you this one at a time. Let's go with the book, and then I'll come right back.
Guys, this is almost too much. With all the crazy stories coming out of Maui, we've got a book here, Fire and Fury, the story of the Maui fires, published August 10th, 2023, blaming climate change, and already has all these eyewitness accounts and first responder testimony. How? We're not even seeing that on the news right now. Published August 10th. Now, who is this guy, Dr. Miles Stones? What a weird pseudonym that is. June 20th this year, he published a book about Hunter Biden and how he overcame adversity. What a great, honorable guy. No, this is really suspect. And the name of the book, Fire and Fury, the story of the Maui fires, it's the same name as Fire and Fury, the story of the inside story of the Trump White House. What is going on? Who is Dr. Miles Stones? Let's figure this out.
Okay, so you heard that, and I did some looking into this book, and on Amazon what they did is, because everybody was like, this is disgusting, this was all obviously already premeditated. Whoever wrote this book knew what was going to happen before it ever happened, and knew that they were going to blame climate change on it. I mean, how stupid do they think everybody is? Obviously, they think we're all pretty stupid and that we're not going to figure it out. Which, they're not making it difficult, are they? Or maybe they just really don't care. But they did take the book off of online sell, or they put it where you could only pre-order it, or not pre-order it, you could only order it specifically online. Anyway, it's not as easy to get as it was. They're still selling it, but trying to hide it a little bit. So what I think they're doing is they're hoping everybody will just forget and it'll blow over, and then they'll put it back up. But no, we're not forgetting. We're never forgetting any of this stuff. I mean, look, none of us are going to ever forget what Pence did, the traitor. He's going to go to his grave being a traitor to the United States. But I digress. Let's stick with what we're on right now. Okay, so you saw that. That's, weird. I can't imagine that this was predetermined or pre-planned, can y'all? Oh, who would do that? No, they would never, ever do that, would they? Okay, so now I have another video to show you first. I've got several to show you. Sorry, it's going to take a little bit, but this is very, very interesting. Someone caught something crazy looking in the skies in Hawaii. So at the time of this. So let me show you this video next, and then we'll come back, and I've got more to show you. Okay, stay with me.
Look behind you. insane. Whoa, did you see that just shoot across? Did anyone else see that?
It's windy, and then there's a flash, and I think that's when a tree's falling on a power line. The power goes out, our generator kicks in, the camera comes back online, and then the forest is on fire.
Okay, so you saw that light. Really weird the way it was, you know, going horizontal with the land through the air. I'm not sure 100% on what that was. That could have been a direct energy weapon, but from the videos and stuff we've seen, the direct energy weapons tend to come straight down. So they're coming from satellites, you know, floating around in our lower atmosphere, right? Supposedly, though, that one of them does come from Antarctica, one of the big ones. But I still think it would come up and straight down, so I'm not sure what that is. But that could have possibly caused the surge in the electrical wires, right? All the popping and everything that went by. Okay, so here, let me show you this right here. Okay, and then I'll read it. And this is about the Maui Kalua estate and the farm. Notice that Lahaina, Hawaii, is not surrounded by a forest of trees. The only dense area of trees would be the Maui Kauai Estate cocoa farm. Cocoa trees are quite small, ranging in height between 13 and 26 feet. The small clump of trees on the tree farm, separated by a roadway and many hundreds of yards of barren land containing only scrub grass, could not cause a massive conflagration alleged to have been caused by wildfires. So it's very odd that it burnt. It's not like, you know, and when they say in California, well, there's all this dead brush and everything all over the place, and it needs to be cleaned up, and that's why California catches fire every year. That's what they always say, right? Well, this doesn't hold true in Hawaii. I mean, as most of us know, like I said before, it rains in Hawaii like every afternoon. There's a nice shower that keeps everything in with plenty of moisture. There's not dead shrubs everywhere and tree foliage. It shouldn't be lighting up like that. It absolutely shouldn't. Not to mention that they never turned on the sirens to warn the people. And I don't know if you heard about that, but of course the guy who was supposed to have turned on the sirens said that he doesn't regret not ever turning the sirens on because he feels like it would have made people panic and rush into the fire. Like, come on, really? People are not dumb. They're not as dumb as they act. They come up with these excuses all the time. They always say they don't do things because it would cause a panic and people couldn't handle it. Blah, blah, blah. Bullcrud. Bullcrud, bullcrud. You know, we're on to their silly games now that they play, and we'd all have more respect if they just come out and turn the truth and be like, hey, we think there's too many people and we want to kill a lot of you. We want to do this mass extinction, right, across the world. Let's be honest about it. Or, hey, we want your land so we can make 15-minute cities. Or because Oprah wants to have an unobstructed view of the ocean. Who knows what she wants. Or the mountain. Or the volcano. I don't know. But, okay, so I've got more to show you now. And I think what I will show you next is I'm going to show you the land. That's what I'll do. I'll show you some of the land and how precise it was. And how the millionaire, billionaire homes did not catch on fire. And I'm going to show you what in 2018 happened in California with the direct energy weapons. And then I've got some really, really good testimony to show you from people there in Hawaii that lived through this and are going to testify to what they saw. And you don't want to miss that. That's actually really interesting. So let me show you these next videos, and then I'll be back.
This is Maui. Look at the millionaires and billionaires' beachfront properties untouched. This was a massacre, an act of terrorism to clear away the ordinary people of Maui inland. Absolutely disgusting that we're not trying to find out who these people are.
Okay, so you just saw the damage done in Lahaina, I think that's how I pronounce it, Hawaii. And you also saw in California in 2018 how very, very incredibly similar they are. Okay, so now let me show you the two testimonies that I have for you that I think you're going to find very, very interesting. And then I will finish up and I want to show you some of the different ways that they've been setting fires, that we actually have videos on top of it. Because I think that they use multiple ways of setting this fire to make sure that, you know, they covered all their bases and everything they wanted. You know, that they were going to make sure they got every single house, every single bit of property that they wanted. And they didn't care who died. They didn't care who they got rid of. Getting rid of them, heck, it's even better, because then they can't even attempt to fight for their land, right? All right, let me show you these two testimonies and then I'll be back.
I have been trapped in Lahaina for the last 4 days. And I experienced firsthand what was going on there. What I went through is not important. I need to get this message out. This was not a natural disaster. This was a direct energy attack on the people and the place of Maui. If you know what lives there, what descendants live there, you know why. And you know why it happened on 8/8. And if this is not something that you believe, it's time to stop being a sheep. They came in and they took control. There were trees standing and the buildings gone. This system, this weather system, came in from the mountains, from the east. That does not happen. They were not telling people anything. They were not letting people in to help. And they were letting people go in to get burned alive. There were people burning alive in the streets. There were people dead in the water. There were hundreds, if not thousands, of people that died. What they're telling you in the news is not true, and I lived it firsthand. I sat with the people. This is not to bring fear, this is to educate, because there is darkness that is being hidden. And soon people are going to see. I know now why Gaia sent me there. And I am going to use this platform. There was no warning. There was no nothing. Please boost this post. I want everybody to see this. I don't give a fuck about me. I want everybody to see this. What they're telling you in the news is not what happened.
I've been in the industry of people losing their homes due to fire, flood, monster, emergency services. But I need you guys to hear me out. You don't see what's going on. I feel something is bigger. I've been on Maui the last 9 years, and I know the geographical location and how everything works. There was no fucking way that a hurricane missed Big Island, went to Maui, and didn't flood them, didn't give them, crazy, other things, but it caused fires. It caused fires in not only on Maui, but it caused fires in the most precious parts of real estate in Maui. Lahaina Front Street is worth billions. The Hawaiians that have been holding out and the Kanaka have been holding out for years, not wanting to sell their property in Lahaina due to these big $1 million companies. It is not a coincidence, I don't believe, how in the most precious parts of Maui, Kula, Lahaina, and Kihei, that the locals that are standing strong and do not want to give up Oprah Winfrey's fucking view up in Kula that the Hawaiians are holding out on, that the fire was going to, the Hawaiians and the Kanaka that was holding right there on Front Street.
We find these, our family and our friends, the remains we're finding is through a fire that melted metal. We have to do rapid DNA to identify them. Every one of these 89 are John and Jane Does. We know we've got to go quick, but we got to do it right. So when we pick up the remains and they fall apart, and so when you have 200 people running through the scene yesterday, and some of you, that's what you're stepping on. I don't know how much more you want me to describe it. That's what you're stepping on. Give us a little bit of time to contain that. Please. Because we've got to go make 89 notifications. And coming from a place that had to make 58, I understand the pain this is going to take. And we're not done with 89. So just understand what this thing is, because none of us really know the size of it yet. Everybody wants a number. You want it fast or you want it right? We're going to do it right.
Okay, so as you can see, there seems to be a consensus amongst the people there in Hawaii that this is definitely no mere accident that just happened, and there is very, very obviously some very nefarious things afoot in the area, and all the people know it. All the locals know it. They know, they have a pretty good idea of what is going on, and we're seeing more and more of this kind of stuff just all over the place, and I think people are getting tired of it. And of course, what are they doing? They're already coming out and calling people conspiracy theorists and talking about their tinfoil hats and talking about direct energy weapons aren't real, but we know about right? That's not a secret. They've shown it. They've shown it off. They've done documentaries on it. We know it's there. We know of HARP. We know of DARPA. We know of all of these things. And then to turn around and try and call anybody who tries to tell the truth conspiracy theorists. Well, you know what? We're not falling for any of that crud. We're not going to sit around and call each other conspiracy theorists. It's just, the whole thing is ridiculous. So, honestly, I think people are tired of this and just about ready to revolt. Okay, so also a lot of things we'll see is where they claim predictive programming and stuff like that. Or, you know, there is, but the truth is they know what they're going to do before they do it, right? And they show us before they do it. And they're not making any mass predictions. No one, you know, like the Simpsons and stuff. All these elites, they own everything. They own all the major networks. They own all the name brand stuff. They know everything. They want to make us eat bugs. They want us to die. We know all this, or at least the majority of us do. The only people who don't are sitting around trying to think of silly names to call themselves and changing their genders. So let them live in La La Land. The rest of us see what's going on. And it's about time we start doing something about it. Definitely got to be speaking out against all this and share information. And with me, with my last video I did, it's already being blocked, views taken away, shadow banned. So if y'all get the opportunity, please share this. Share this anywhere you can so that more and more people know the truth. And we have no idea. We know something's coming in California called Hillary. So we know it's not good just by the name. All sorts of people are going to be suicided. All joking aside, it's probably going to be pretty bad. And I'll show you something else. Again, Mountain Dew, they seem to be ahead of the curve and know what's going on. They have their Baja drink, and then they had their Hawaiian drink. I'll show you a picture of their marketing on that in just a second as well. Alright, so let me show you 2 more videos real quick, and they are of some of the things that they have. They can even make volcanoes erupt. So let me show you that, and then I'll be right back with you. Okay, so you can see they have the capability to just do so much damage to our environment, and that's exactly what they're doing. They are damaging the environment and then blaming it on all of us, telling all of us that we have to suffer and go without and lose our homes and lose our lands because of what they are doing on purpose to us. And we've just got to get enough of it. We really do. It's just going too far. And who knows what's happening with Hillary. I'm sure it's going to be a lot worse than what people are thinking. I hope it's not. But, you know, these days it's just one thing after another, isn't it? I mean, they're just constantly hitting us with stuff. So much that you can barely keep up. I mean, you don't have time to even dry your tears before there's something new catastrophic going on. And, you know, this is the kind of stuff that you're like, okay, well, what's really going on right now that we're not seeing? That's the big question, right? Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video. I had a lot of information to give everybody. I hope you found it informative. Please subscribe, follow, give me a like. Let me know in the comments, am I kind of covering everything, or is there some stuff that y'all have seen that I haven't covered in here yet? Like I said, I wasn't planning on doing another video on the fires after my last one. But, you know, there's just more and more information coming out. And you can see, I mean, I had a hard time getting it all in this video as it was. So if more comes out, I'll do another video on it and keep plugging it through. But, you know, let's see what happens in California with Hillary running through the place. I mean, everybody knows that can't be good. Anytime there's Hillary around, it's bad, really bad. And nobody wants to be there. I'm surprised they were named it that, honestly. And Oprah, she's a nightmare, isn't she? Oh my goodness, and think people used to actually like her. She's going to get where she can't go out anywhere in public. Everybody knows what she is. And between that and, you know, what she's actually been doing with all those girls' schools over in Africa. She's just one mess after another, isn't she? And the Me Too movement, you know, with, I guess, Weinstein, was that his name? All those actresses that she was introducing to him and basically almost being like a pimp to him, it seems. Just disgusting. But, you know, the majority of Hollywood is pretty disgusting. There are some out there that aren't, that are fighting against it and talking out and speaking up. But for the majority, they're just rotten. They really are, all of them. Especially Taylor Swift. Ugh. Yuck. She's terrible. Her and her weird concerts where she's trying to put spells on people and stuff. It's just odd. Very, very odd. I don't care for her at all. And I used to think that she was this nice young girl and sweet and innocent. Well, she's not any of that, is she? Definitely not sweet and absolutely not innocent. Okay, so remember, please share and give me a follow. I appreciate it so much, especially since my stuff's definitely not being shared through where I'm being shadow banned. So I appreciate all your help. And if you'd like to, go on to my locals. I just started it, and that way we can communicate. You can show me videos and stuff if you have them, or we can share ideas and talk. I would love for y'all to join that too. And I appreciate all y'all very, very much for watching. And I hope you all have a blessed day. And I pray that God is taking care and watching over each and every one of you. And I will see you in the very next video. Be sure and set your notifications so you don't miss any of them. Bye.